Okay, so here we are at episode 16 of Star Trek Prodigy. Episode titled Preludes. So let's talk about this episode. Okay, yeah, so welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to my review series of Star Trek Prodigy. Now, I do review Star Trek on a weekly basis, whatever Star Trek show may be on at the time. So, there we go. Now, Star Trek Prodigy, Preludes. Yes, episode 16. Now, this episode kind of slows down the tension, and it kind of... It's a very sort of fractured kind of storytelling in the sense that we're finding out a lot about a lot of the members of the programme, a lot of the characters within. We're given sort of short snippets, delving into the pasts of a lot of characters that we haven't really delved too much into at the moment. So Jansen Pog, Rock, the Diviner, and all this sort of stuff. So the story itself is that the Prodigy is obviously still in the neutral zone. Janeway's outside the neutral zone, and the Prodigy can't go anywhere because it's damaged, and the crew are trying to fix it. Dow is trying to come to terms with the fact that he's a failed genetic experiment, and this leads all the crew to start reminiscing about their pasts and the stories that they have, and that he's not the only one with this backstory of woe, shall we say. So they delve into Rock first, who we come to find out was considered a monster and used to perform shows with this other individual, kind of like a knight slaying a dragon kind of thing for the amusement of others. But Rock got somewhat upset when she realised that the fans didn't really like her. They liked the fella that was doing it because they perceived her as being a monster. She got fed up with this and changed the narrative of the show, and it led to her being taken away. And then we jump into other stories of that sort of ilk. We find out about Jansen Prog and the fact that he's on this ship and everyone is in cryo sleep, and he gets woken up. He has to do some repairs, and he's not a proper engineer, and he has to leave the ship because of the air. There's not enough air to sustain everyone on it, so he takes the opportunity to walk away to save everyone else, and ends up where he ends up. We find out a lot about the past of the Diviner, and when the protostar came through, and Chakotay makes an appearance, and all this sort of stuff. So we're given all these different stories. Now, this episode has about 10 writers involved in it, which is alarming when you first hear about something like that. So many writers on something, you know, too many cooks in the kitchen spoil the broth, so to speak. But because of the fractured nature of the storytelling, in that it's small snippets of different characters, you don't get that effect in the writing. It all comes together nicely. Now, what you will find is that some of the stories are somewhat more interesting than others to you, dependent upon your interest in that particular character. There's some great stuff with Janeway. The episode itself doesn't really move the narrative along too much until the very end. It's more an exploration into the past of these characters. But at the very end, Janeway does make a significant discovery, shall we say, that leads us into what's to come. So, another strong episode from the show, very strong. It's interesting to delve into the past of characters that we've not really delved too much into, and get some answers and some stuff about their backgrounds and where they came from and all this sort of a thing. So again, a strong episode for the season. But what I'd like to know is, did this episode work for you, or didn't it? Well, what story element did you like the most? What one did you like the least? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will be back next week with my review and a little chat about that episode as well. So this is AJ, thank you for watching, and I shall see you all on the next one. Take care all, and keep well. Goodbye.